Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Your boy 7200 taking you straight to Mali. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's check up what is going on in Mali. Terrorists, militias from Azawad ambushed a Malian military convoy, sparking a major battle. As a result of these battles, the terrorists suffered heavy casualties, including Commander Isufu Bugara, who has officially been declared KIA. Ladies and gentlemen, as I speak to you, the farmers of Mali has confirmed this kill is a confirmed kill, and the terrorist sources, different terrorist sources, they've confirmed this kill. They even played a lot of lullabies for him. As he journeys his way to wherever they think he's going. But ladies and gentlemen, the 72 virgins are guaranteed right there. So according to terrorist sources, they said, we are not like you. We honor our martyrs and pay tribute to them. You know, they said, nobody wants to die, but everybody wants to get to Jannah. So if you know that you want to get to Jannah today, you are tired of this world, yeah, you can join the Azawad or whatever they call them. According to the information we have, they said these Azawad terrorists, they've been quiet for the past 2 years. Just like Captain Ibrahim Traore said, that when the French troops left Burkina Faso, the sleeper cells started waking up. So this is one of those sleeper cells that just woke up. And you know what I suspect? I suspect that the JNIM terrorist sect had been taking heavy casualties recently. And I think the recruitment process has not been really too seamless. So the only way they can continue the fighting is to wake up the sleeper cells. And this fuels more of my suspicion that the Malian troops need to do a thorough cleanup job from inside outside. I feel like there are some perpetrators within the Malian ranks. I think there are some citizens that are feeding information to these terrorists. So I feel like the Malian forces, the secret service, you know, I think a lot has to go into this fight. This is no longer a special military operation. This is no longer an anti-terrorism campaign. This is full-scale war. I think Mali right now, they need to declare war on the terrorists. And just like NSC, it should never stop. It should never settle until they completely capitulate this terrorist organization. So let's go to the next update of the day. Malian forces have now declared officially for the first time acknowledging the use of kamikaze drones by the terrorists in today's engagement with Azawad terrorists. It has been stated clearly that the Azawad group now deploys kamikaze drones with image showing Azawad fighters with drone operators. But unfortunately, all these diabolic drones were intercepted. But the question, you know, I've been talking about this in the past, that the sponsors of this terrorist organization, they are showing us that they are losing this battle, because now you've gone from trucks, from APCs, from guns, from different caliber of rifles. Now you are now going to drones, right? If you are going to kamikaze drones, it means whatever you've deployed before is no longer working. You feel like you're not gaining any type of success. And from statistical facts, we can see that the terrorists have not even gained foothold anywhere. They've been on the back foot. The Malians have been controlling the pace and been dictating the tempo of the fight. So that's why I think they are deploying the kamikaze drones, but unfortunately, all the kamikaze drones were shot down. You want to see one of the kamikaze drones dancing Mapongo in Africa? Okay. Look at that drone right there. See, you guys might have the intercontinental ballistic missile and all those things. But you see, when it comes to gunfight, 1v1, man, give it up for Africans. Give it up. Give it up for Africans. I'm not joking. According to the Malian Armed Forces, that despite massive media coverage, the terrorist militias of Azawad suffered a heavy loss. A logistic convoy of the Malian Armed Forces successfully repelled an ambush by fighters of the terrorist militias of Azawad, which resumed operation after 2 years hiatus. The attack took place between the Ageok and the ANNIHILATES. Now, you know what I think? I feel like if these Azawad terrorists organization is coming back after 2 years. I think something is wrong, right, with this terrorist organization. I think they no longer call the shot. I think they no longer have the card. You understand what I'm saying? And now I think the pressure is increasing among the terrorist rank. I think they are losing a lot of soldiers. Every battle, each one, everyone the fight, I think they lose massive number of troops. And nobody wants to go out there and die. You're fighting the federal government. Definitely you are going to go down. And this is a military leader. It's not a civilian leader. Maybe that must have been scared or something. To me, in my own opinion, I feel like the terrorists at this point, they've gotten more than they bargained for. To me, I don't believe that the terrorists bargained for Assimi Goita. They never believed that Mali would get somebody like that, and that is why you keep hearing them saying they want a civilian leader, they want the juntas to step down, because they know that the juntas are the only one that can really, really feed them with the type of food that they love to eat. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about that? So let's go from there. And there are evidences of the fight that happened, because the Hazawad militias have been spreading false propaganda online, because there's a propaganda warfare that is going on. And that is what the Westerners are very used to doing. The Western medias, even their local recruits, all they do is they try to win the propaganda war, but on the ground the statistics say something different. So ladies and gentlemen, according to the farmers of Mali, the fighting reportedly ended about an hour ago. According to what we heard, overall this fight went for about 5 hours today, non-stop, because they actually showed some level of resistance. Because now this fight was not a close combat fight. According to the information we have, this fight was not fought at close range. So let's go. Probably, they said the fighting reportedly ended about an hour ago, probably thanks to the intervention of the Malian Armed Forces. The clashes were fought at a distance using heavy range weapon without close combat. The operation remained under the control of the Malian Armed Forces, who carried out a coordinated raid with air support and ground advances. Now, from the evidences that the Azawad militias provided for us, this is why I've been talking about Western media propaganda. They always like to tell some lies. All I see are terrorists parading, no shooting going on. You can't even hear any sound from the background of maybe an exchange going on. They are recording the clip from a very, you see, where you can see the smoke from. They are so far from the place. I'm telling you, they are so far from the place that. So what I think is, they ran to a place where, yes, they know that, okay, we're out of touching distance, and they try to see what is going on. And now they are trying to sell out the propaganda to people that, yeah, we are still around, we are still here. And I think all these are part of the psychological warfare they're trying to wage. And psychological warfare that you're trying to wage on the civilian would not have any type of effect on the result on the ground. They are losing this war, and they are losing bad. Well, they keep lying, but the African Corps, aka the Wagner machinery, if that's what they want to call it, they provided a very, very discreet image from the area view of what they did to these terrorists. Just one of the few. I covered it because whenever I cover these things on a very large extent, the videos just get cancelled. And YouTube has been warning me recently. That's why I said, okay, I'm going to reduce the gore that I expose in some of my videos. But I'm going to show you what happened, because some cars got some very cold keys of death today, and a lot of terrorists were dead. A lot of terrorists were dead. They can't even deny it. It's not something they can deny. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's watch this video. The operation took place in the area of the village of Igadinhahin, south of the town of Lere, as part of the efforts to stabilize the situation and neutralize hostile cells in the area. So that's part of the news that the Malians have given, and definitely we have posted this before, but the Malians have now dropped updates on a confirmatory update that they actually did the job. We were ahead of schedule with our sources, but now I love the fact that the Malians are now confirming it now that they've actually exterminated these guys. So the last one we got today, I've been talking about this for a while, but the Malians now, they are really, really being proactive. But let's be careful, because you will now start hearing the Human Rights Watch, the United Nations, the different type of useless NGO like that always have affiliation to all these terrorist sponsors. They will start complaining. I don't know if you guys have said, you've heard things like the Wagner machineries, they kill civilians, they do all this, they do that. So this fight in Mali, the reason why it has not gained the amount of the level of success that we've recorded in Burkina Faso is because in Mali it is more difficult, because you have them within and you have them without. But in Burkina Faso, there's a whole different level of unity. So they can't infiltrate the Burkinabes because they love their leaders. And apart from that, I just think that's why they call it the land of the upright men. And it's more difficult. So the fight Burkina Faso is fighting as a unit. But in Mali, there are some radicals among them that are trying to, even you see that they support the terrorist organization. I don't know what type of humans support terrorists, but ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Two arrested in Mali for spreading terrorist propaganda online: Yeli Kante and Musa Sissoko. Malian authorities have arrested two individuals accused of disseminating terrorist propaganda and false information online, in what officials described as a part of a broader campaign to combat cybercrime and information warfare in the Sahel region. Yeli Kante, apprehended in the western city of Kayes, was presented before the country's cybercrime division and placed under a formal detention order earlier this week. According to sources, Kante had been in contact with Buba Fani, a controversial figure previously denounced by authority for spreading extremist content and disinformation across social media platforms. So they have been arrested, and we expect the Malian authorities to arrest a lot more. In my own opinion, if I were in the position of Ashimi Goita, I think I would have. There's only one instruction I'll give to my soldiers right now: every terrorist should be gunned down. Do whatever you can to make sure you eliminate every single terrorist. Whatever decision you have to take should be in your discretion. I'm not even going to be limiting them to anything at this point, because we can't afford to allow these terrorists to have a foothold in Mali. Remember, there is a reason why the fight in Mali is very, very tough. Mali is the third highest exporter of gold in Africa. And apart from that, Mali is big. Mali is bigger than Nigeria. Mali is like 2 times Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, the Western authorities want something from Mali. And this is going to be a long fight. Don't think this honeymoon is going to end very early. No, it's going to be a long fight. And just as the enemies want to show that they have a big resolve, we have to show too that we have a bigger resolve, and more powers and more grace and more luck to the Malian Armed Forces as they continue to fight against this terrorist organization. And Luta continua, Victoria Santa. Remember, always stay dangerous at all time, even when there is no cause for alarm, because you never can tell what can happen the next minute. Your safety depends on it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy 7200 signing out. Enough said, but before I go, thanks for watching and God bless you.